The Year 9 Season 3.3 Designer's Notes just came out earlier today, and in this video, I'm going to be highlighting all the really important things that you guys need to know before it goes live. I honestly was not ready for this today. I did not think there was going to be a designer's notes that came out, so this is all just completely unscripted, just kind of reading off of the same thing you're reading here, and we're going to take a look. I skimmed through it all already, and we have a few bullet points here to really hit on, so really excited to take a look at it all, though. I think you guys are going to be surprised by a few changes they have written in here. But first, taking a look at these balancing matrix, charts that they have in every single one of the designer's notes. These are no surprise. They have these in all of them, like how I said. They really are the most telling metric of most, Rainbow Six Siege changes. When the team goes and they need to make a nerf or a ban, in case you don't know, this is pretty much what they base it off of. And so as you can see here, it doesn't matter if we're looking at console or PC, both of these have Ashe just super, super high. As you can see, the presence in console is almost 70%. And then in PC, it's like almost 50%, which is still absurd. I don't know. Actually, it's over 50%. I don't know if we've ever had a operator get past 70% before. I mean, I'm sure we have, but not recently, at least not in my recent memory. This is just absurd. If I had to guess, there is 100% a Ashe nerf incoming. If it's not going to be, next season, maybe the season after, because that's kind of just insane. You can see Ace isn't too far behind her, and then you got Buck, Dokkaebi. Monty has a super, super high win delta, at least on PC, decently high on console, just isn't getting picked all that often. You got Sense really low down there, Nook's really low down there, Zero, Jackal, all operators that are good to note for the rest of this video. But yeah, so that's just all of the attackers, and then taking a look at defenders, a little bit more of a scattered sort of chart here, I guess. Doc takes the position of Ashe here on the defense. I don't think anyone really was going to be too surprised at that. On PC, he's getting picked almost 50% of the time, and here on console, nearly 70%. Again, this is just an absurd metric, an absurd number. High pick rate for Legion, really, really high win rates for Capcan. Surprisingly, Rook is up there as well. I wouldn't expect that. And then you got your guys like Tachanka, Thunderbird, Clash, Smoke that are on the lower side here, which makes sense. Hopefully there should be some kind of a buff coming to them in the future. But overall, this all, it checks out. It's not too entirely different, not too entirely drastic from, last seasons that we saw, or the last one of these charts that we saw. Only thing that I would say that really stands out is that Capcan, for some reason, is only going up. It's not like he's gotten a crazy buff or anything like that. He just seems to be winning a whole lot of rounds, so not 100% sure what they're going to do about that. But now moving on to the ban rate, you can see, just about the same, 10, however many operators that is for console and PC. Console, you got Jackal and Monty pretty high up there. PC, you got Dokkaebi and Monty. You can see that this Dokkaebi nerf really isn't doing all that much. She's still one of the most overpowered operators in the game, as reflected in this chart. And looking at Monty, he really is just a beast. Shields are just a beast, and that's going to be touched on in this video, in these notes here. So we'll come back to that. Moving on to the defenders here. PC, very, very high for Fenrir. Mira's coming in second there. And then sort of flipped around, we have Capcan pretty high on console, and then Fenrir. As a fellow console player, I'll be the first to tell you that no, we do not look for Capcan traps, and that is why we banned Capcan. Yes, make fun of us, whatever. But yeah, overall, all of these make sense. The only thing that's a little bit confusing to me is Caveira, for some reason, on PC and console is in that top 10. A little bit strange, but I'm not sure. Whatever. Now moving on to the main part that you're probably here for is the word about ballistic shields in Year 9 Season 4. So what they're basically saying here is that they're pleased that their Year 9 Season 1 update to shields has increased their presence and their win delta in Rainbow Six Siege. However, they are recognizing that not only has it increased the presence and increased the effectiveness, it's become the entire meta. And this is a step in the right direction. I'm very glad that they are recognizing this. Sometimes it takes them a lot longer to do that. I mean, to be fair, it has been a long time, but they are basically just saying, like, we're going to try to tune up the shields a little bit for Year 9 Season 4 to make them more of a support role. It's entirely changing the game, and I'm glad that they're recognizing this. Now, they don't say how they're going to change it. Of course, this is just some designers' notes. They're just recognizing that they know the problem's there, a change is going to come, and we're going to have to wait until next season, a couple months from now, to find out, or at least to really feel what that change is going to be. I'm sure we'll find out before it actually comes out, but yeah. So that's the major thing. Now we have some individual operator changes. So first we have Ayana. They are reducing her cooldown from 30 seconds to 20 seconds. I mean, this wouldn't have been on my bingo card. I was not expecting for this to happen. I wasn't expecting Ayana to get any change. I feel like she's kind of been just irrelevant for a long time, but you know, hey, I'm not complaining. And then we got Jackal. They are removing his visor distortion when getting shot. Now this is interesting to me. If you recall, when we were just looking at those charts, the ban rates, the win deltas, Jackal is a above average strength operator. You know what I mean? And it's especially reflected in the fact that he's been one of the most banned operators for about 3 years now. You know what I mean? So it's a little bit strange that they are effectively buffing him. That's a little bit weird to me. I'm not sure what the the vision behind this is. It's not necessarily massive. It's not like this changes everything, but all in all, it is technically a buff, and so I'll be interested to see what the community thinks about this. But yeah, moving on to Kali, they are adding smoke grenades. Doesn't really change a whole bunch. There is another Kali change at the end of this, so we'll come back to it. And then we have Mozzie. They are increasing his pests from 3 to 4. Very interesting to me. I feel like Mozzie has been a little bit on the outskirts for a long time, and he was one of my favorites when he first came in. He's been much more irrelevant, not as good. They are also adding impact grenades. It's not as much of a change since he already has a nitro cell, but hey, you know, it's still whatever. It works. It makes him better. Hopefully this maybe, increases his pick rate just a little bit. He has been pretty obsolete for a long time now. I'm always loving a good Mozzie, so I'm sure I'll get back into it a little bit more as well. And then we have Zero. This one was a little bit interesting to me. Like I said, I don't know actually if I did say this, but I haven't really been a whole lot like religiously playing ranked recently. Sort of just been looking at the content side, keeping you guys updated, keeping myself updated so I know what's going on, but I haven't really sweated out, tried and ranked in, probably a year or two now. And I remembered Zero just being really good in that time period when I was playing, when I was, sweating, I guess. He had one of the best loadouts in the game. He was kind of just like a Valkyrie on attack, just really, really, really powerful in all. And so I don't know. I mean, they're effectively buffing him here. They're giving him 2 more Argus launchers, which is a massive increase. I mean, they're increasing it up to 6. That's 6 launchers. Like, that's an insane amount of cameras to have in a 3-minute round or whatever. So yeah, a bit of a Zero buff here. Not sure how this will play or how long that will last for. And then we have Zofia. They're removing her breach charges and adding hard breach charges. I probably would have never known the difference otherwise. This isn't all that game changing. And then this is the last change, which also refers back to Kali. Like I said, they are balancing the CSR X300 in a good way. They are making it slightly more powerful. So they are reducing the duration of bullet trail from 2 seconds to 1 second. Not all that much, but I mean, technically that you're splitting it in half. You know what I mean? So it may not feel like all that different, but it is a pretty major difference. And they are also reducing the bullet trail by 75%. This just, it's not game breaking. It doesn't change everything. It doesn't make Kali meta in any way. But, I like it when Ubisoft does something different. They try to adhere to a different playstyle rather than the typical TDM playstyle that, you have Ashe and Doc players. So I'm glad to see that they aren't forgetting about the snipers just because they're not on the front lines necessarily. So yeah, that's pretty much everything. I'm very interested in hearing what you guys think. I'm glad to see a lot of these things that Ubisoft is at least, recognizing, especially with the shields. I'm glad to see that they are, taking a look at it and they're at least going to make an effort to make it better. That's really a positive thing. At least it's a step in the right direction. But yeah, besides for all the yapping, I do want to hear what you guys think down in the comments. I'll be sure to let you guys know if we get any other updates. And besides for that, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one. Peace.